Remember when getting fried chicken felt like a real treat, a special occasion? Nowadays, a new chicken joint seems to pop up every week, and every fast food place has wings on the menu. But let's be brutally honest. Most are a huge disappointment and not worth your hard-earned money. It's simply overwhelming to sort through them all. Who has the time or the budget for that? Well, that's why I decided to do the legwork for you. Today, we're counting down the 6 chicken wing places you absolutely need to avoid and revealing the 2 hidden gems you might be driving right past. Some of the names on this list are going to surprise you. Is your favorite spot really as good as you think? Let's find out. All right, we have to start somewhere. And unfortunately, for this pizza giant, we're starting right here. Coming in dead last, at number 8, is Little Caesars. I know their pizza can be a decent value, a solid option when you need to feed a family without breaking the bank. I get it. But their chicken wings, folks, that is a completely different and very sad story. When they bring them out, you might be fooled. They have this deep, dark brown color that makes you think they'll be packed with flavor. But looks can be deceiving. The number one problem, the unforgivable sin, is the texture. The meat was tough, and the skin was chewy in a way I can only describe as being like old bubble gum. It was a workout for my jaw just to get through one. The reason is obvious. They don't seem to be made fresh. You get the impression they've been sitting in a warming cabinet for a very long time. To make matters worse, they were cold. Not just warm, but basically room temperature, which is just inexcusable. One reviewer online summed it up perfectly. You can taste the regret. From start to finish, these were a huge letdown. Their pizza might be a value, but these wings are a tragedy. My advice is simple. Stick to the pizza, but do yourself a favor and skip the wings. At around $8 or $9, you're not saving money. You're buying disappointment. Moving slightly up the ladder, but still firmly in the avoid category, we land at another pizza place. At number 7, it's Papa John's. At first glance, these wings look a little more promising, but they fall into the same trap. They have that same dark appearance and a similar profound lack of any real seasoning. It's almost like the big pizza chains are using the exact same playbook for their wings, and it's a playbook for failure. I will give them this. They are a step up. The meat has more of an actual chicken flavor. A low bar, but a start. They aren't nearly as tough, and the wings themselves are pretty meaty, so you feel like you're getting some substance for your money. But that's where the compliments end. You know that feeling of guilty pleasure you get from Papa John's? That little cup of garlic sauce that makes the pizza crust seem magical? There's none of that magic here to save the day. These wings are just there. This is the first one on the list I'd describe as not bad, but it's a universe away from good. Unless someone in your group is on a low-carb diet, there is no reason to add these to your order. For about $12, you can find much better wings from places that actually care about them. Why settle? And rounding out our tragic pizza trilogy at number 6, it's Domino's. Honestly, I walked into this one with rock-bottom expectations, figuring they'd be another sad, forgotten wing. But you know what? They actually surprised me. Now, don't get too excited. They're not what I would call good, not by a long shot. But they are about the best you can hope for from a chain whose pizza is famous for being better the next morning, cold from the fridge. What's interesting here is the flavor. There's a genuinely nice smoky note on the skin, and you can taste garlic and pepper deep in the meat. It's not overpowering, but it's intriguing. You take a bite and think, hey, there's some real thought here. But then, the disappointment hits. All of that promising flavor is completely let down by a really gummy, chewy texture. It's a true shame, because that flavor deserves a much better cooked wing. Because of that terrible texture, you're not going out of your way for these. But I'm going to say something controversial. Domino's makes better chicken wings, then Domino's makes pizza. There, I said it. It's a low bar, but true. For around $10, they offer a flicker of hope, but that flicker is immediately extinguished by the chewy texture. At number 5, we have a brand that is literally synonymous with wings: Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings are their entire brand. That's what makes this ranking so heartbreaking. What a complete miss this was. You expect a wing place to get wings right, but based on my takeout experience, that's just not the case. The wings were just so incredibly dried out. The skin had a bit of crisp to it, but it wasn't that satisfying, crunchy bite you crave. It was far more rubbery. I'd bet good money these are another victim of the dreaded heat lamp, left to slowly wither and die. One reviewer put it this way: "It felt like they were cooked yesterday and reheated today." But here's the strange part. While the outside was dry, the meat on the inside was impressively moist. It wasn't stringy or chalky. So, a small point for them there. The flavor of the wing itself was minimal. I couldn't taste any seasoning beyond a faint hint of salt. It's painfully obvious these wings are designed for one purpose: to be a vehicle for sauce. Ordering them plain is a losing bet. Perhaps it's different when you dine in, but for this takeout version, priced as a premium option at over $15 for 10 wings, it's just not worth your money. A real shame. All right, folks, before we get to our next entry, I have to ask, what's a food from a big chain that you used to love, but feel has gone completely downhill over the years? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your stories. And speaking of former giants, let's see where the Colonel himself lands. Coming in at number 4, it's the original Kentucky Fried Chicken. For many of us, KFC was our nostalgic first taste of commercial fried chicken. But honestly, tasting it today was exactly like running into an old ex. Let's break down this complicated relationship. First, the good. You have to admit, this old flame still has some moves. The Colonel remains a master of seasoning. That iconic flavor from the 11 herbs and spices gets right into the breading and deep into the meat. The flavor is absolutely spot on. Then there's that unique breading. Love it or hate it, it's not the super crunchy shell you get elsewhere. It's thinner, crumblier, and has its own thing going on. But then, there are the reasons you broke up in the first place. This was, without a doubt, the single greasiest chicken on this entire list. The oil itself had a slight sourness to it, an old taste that just felt like too high a price for your arteries. On top of that, the ends of the wings were pretty rubbery. So, in the end, it's just like seeing that old ex. It was nice to revisit the affair for a moment, to remember the taste, but a long-term relationship, I'm afraid that's doomed to fail. All right, we are leaving the truly bad behind us. At number 3, we have Checkers, or as many of you might know it, Rallies. It's the same chain, just with a different name depending on where you live. And this is where things get interesting, because for the first time on this list, we finally have some real, honest-to-goodness crispiness. That crunch is fantastic. Domino's could learn a thing or two from this texture. However, if Checkers could just borrow some of that interesting flavor from Domino's, you would have a real top-tier contender. But for my money, a crispy wing with simple seasoning will always beat a flavorful but mushy one. Texture is king, and Checkers understands that. It's not that they're completely flavorless. The seasoning just doesn't penetrate deep into the meat. You get the clean taste of the chicken itself, with a little salt and pepper on the crust. It's simple and understated. The more I ate it, the more I appreciated it for what it was. Still, the meat could be a bit moister, and the flavor could have more punch to climb any higher. As a value option, often under $10 in a combo, it's a solid choice if you prioritize crunch above all else. So, close to being great, but not quite there. If you're still watching and finding these details valuable, I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave the number 3 in the comments below just to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll consider subscribing and ringing that bell so you don't miss a thing. Your support is what allows us to keep creating helpful content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's get back to it and reveal the 2 that are actually worth your money. We are on the podium now. From here on up, we're talking about chicken I can genuinely recommend, and I promise you, you will not see this one coming. Taking the number 2 spot is Nathan's Famous. Yes, that Nathan's, the hot dog place, the pride of Coney Island. Trust me, I was just as shocked as you are. This was my last stop on a 7-stop chicken marathon. I should have been completely fatigued by fried chicken, but these wings, they just sliced right through all of that. They were so much better than anything a little food court stand has any right to be. The crispy skin was luxurious, but the best part, the thing that truly blew me away, was the flavor underneath. It was the most chickeny chicken I tried all day. The truest, most pure chicken flavor of the entire contest. Of all the wings I ate, these are the ones that wanted sauce the least. In fact, I honestly believe putting sauce on them would have been an insult. They are that good on their own. The secret? It's simple. They're fried on demand. Fresh, right when you order. No heat lamps, no warming cabinets, no shortcuts. This is living proof that freshness is king. If you want a pure, unadulterated chicken experience, Nathan's will absolutely blow you away. A phenomenal surprise and worth every penny of the $14 price tag. After all the debate, all the testing of greasy, rubbery, and bland chicken, it all came down to which one delivers flawless quality, even if it comes with a major catch. And that brings us to the number 1 spot, the People's Champ, the hidden gem you find in unlikely places like gas stations and convenience stores. Our number 1 pick is crispy, crunchy chicken. Years ago, I read an article that called this the secret best chicken in the country. I tried it back then, and it was just fine. But I went back for this competition. And then, magic happened. As I walked to the counter, an employee dumped a brand new, piping hot tray of chicken right in front of me. I'm talking less than 2 minutes out of the fryer. In that moment, I was eating the single best piece of fried chicken in this entire contest. The absolute crispiest, the juiciest, the most flavorful. It was perfection. But here's the catch, the tragic flaw. That moment of perfection lasts for a very short time. The quality decay is the steepest I have ever seen. A few minutes in the box, and it steams itself soft. 5 minutes under a heat lamp, and it becomes completely unremarkable. At its absolute best, this is my uncontested favorite. It beats pricey, made-to-order chains. But a true champion needs to be consistent, and Crispy Crunchy is a gamble on timing. It's heartbreakingly delicious, but volatile. Yet if you can hit that perfect 2-minute window, for under $10, you will have found the best fast food wing in America. It's a gamble, but one that is absolutely worth taking. And there you have it. What a culinary adventure! We've gone from the bottom of the barrel with the pizza places all the way to a surprise champion hiding in a gas station. We've seen giants of the industry stumble and fall, and we've found hidden gems in the most unlikely of places. It just proves one thing. Sometimes the best food doesn't come from the biggest name, but from the place that puts the most care and thought into its product, even if it's just for a fleeting moment. But look, this is just my opinion after eating my way through all of these wings. Now, I want to hear from you. This is the most important part. Do you agree with this list? Did your favorite spot make the cut? Or did I miss a secret local gem completely? Let me know what your number 1 go-to wing spot is in the comments below. I read every single one, and I genuinely want to know what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It really helps the channel out. And if you know a friend or family member who could use this advice, please share this video with them. It might just help them bring something truly special to their table. Of course, if you want more honest, in-depth reviews just like this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that little notification bell so you never miss our next adventure. Thanks so much for watching.